and welcome to Dead Writers Theatre Collective production of Vortex, also Noel. I'd like to invite you to take a moment and turn off your mobile devices and silence anything that might whirl or beep and otherwise unravel one's fragile nerves. Also, please take a moment and unwrap any sort of candies or sweeties that you'd like to enjoy during today's performance. There'll be 2 intermissions, during which time I encourage you to look at In Memoriam, Dead Writers' very own publication, providing a behind-the-scenes look at Noel, the Vortex, and Dead Writers' own production. And now, please, sit up and dive into Noel Coward's The Vortex.
I'm expecting Mrs. Lancaster in at any moment now, Mum.
Thank you, President. We'll wait a little.
Shall I give you some tea?
No, thanks. We've already had some. Give me cigarettes, Pawny. They're in that box on the table.
It may be tiresome of me, but I think all this colouring is impressive.
You make such a fetish of house decoration, Pawny.
Not at all, but I do like things to be good and right.
Well, I don't consider the new frieze in your bathroom either good or right.
How can you, Helen? It's too marvellous for words. Pirelli designed it specially for me.
Personally, it would make me self-conscious to sit in a bath surrounded by frisky gods and goddesses, all with such better figures than mine.
I find it encouraging. This whole room is so typical of Florence.
In what way?
Everywhere, look at the furniture.
A little artificial, perhaps, but quite harmless.
Dear Helen, you're such a loyal friend.
I'm very fond of Florence.
We all are. Oh my God, look at that lampshade.
I gave it to her last Christmas.
Wasn't that a little naughty of you?
I don't see why. It's extremely pretty.
Too unrestrained. Such a bad example for the servants. Who's this boy?
Tom Valiant. You must have seen him.
Florence's past, present, or future?
Present.
He has that innocent look that never fails to attract elderly women.
Don't be a cat.
Oh, I wasn't meaning Florence. She's too divine to be in any marked category.
I wonder.
Oh, yes, Helen. Deathless sort of magnetism, you know.
I often wonder what would happen to Florence eventually.
My dear, I'm far too occupied in wondering what's going to happen to me to worry about other people.
I always thought that your course was quite clear, Pawny.
However offensive that remark was intended to be, Helen, I shall take it in the most complimentary spirit.
I'm sure you will.
I expect Florence will just go on and on, then suddenly become quite beautifully old and go on and on still more.
It's too late now for her to become beautifully old, I'm afraid. She'll have to be young indefinitely.
I don't suppose she'll mind that, but it's trying for David.
And fiendish for Nicky.
Oh, no, my dear, quite wrong there. I'm sure Nicky doesn't care a damn.
It's difficult to tell with Nicky.
He's divinely selfish. All amusing people are.
Did you hear him playing Paris?
Yes.
Well?
Erratic. There are 1 or 2 things perfect, but he's slumming there.
He only takes things seriously in spurts, but still he's very young.
Do you really think that's a good excuse?
No, I'm afraid not. Especially when so much depends on it.
What does depend on it?
Everything. His life's happiness.
Don't be so terribly intense, dear.
It's true.
I'm quite sure Nicky will be perfectly happy as long as he goes on attracting people. He loves being attractive.
Naturally, he's Florence's son.
Such an exciting thing to be.
You don't believe Nicky's got anything in him at all, do you?
I don't think it matters anyway.
I do.
But you've got a loving nature, Helen. I always knew it.
Nicky hasn't had a chance.
Nonsense. He's had everything he wanted ever since the day he was born, and he'll go on wasting his opportunities until he dies.
Quite possibly.
Well, there you are, then.
Nicky may have had everything he wanted, but he's had none of the things he really needs.
Are you talking socially or spiritually?
You're quite right, Pawny. You wouldn't be so beautifully preserved if you'd wasted any of your valuable time or sincerity.
I forgive you for that, Helen. Really?
Thank you so much.
You must realize one thing. Everyone is sacrificed to Florence. It's as it should be. Of course, she's a couple of 100 years late. She ought to have been a flaunting, intriguing king's mistress with black page boys and jade bars and things to divide.
Miss Hibbert.
My dears! Isn't Florence back yet?
No, we're waiting for her.
You look harassed, Clara.
I am harassed.
Why?
I'm singing tonight for Laura Tennant. She's giving a dreadful reception at her dreadful house for some dreadful ambassador.
How dreadful.
No one will listen to me, of course. They'll all be far too busy avoiding the cup and searching for the champagne.
What are you singing?
One Gabriel Fauré, two Ronaldo Hans, and an aria.
Which aria?
I can't think. But my accompanist will know. I've got a frightful headache.
Why don't you take off your hat?
Oh, my dear, I daren't. I've just had my hair done. I don't suppose you've got a cachet favour, either of you.
No, but Florence has, I expect. Preston will know what they are. Ring the bell, Horny.
My poor Clara, have you thought your scene tonight will justify the fuss you're making this afternoon?
Don't be so brutal, Bonnie.
Is Gregory going with you?
Of course. I never sing unless he's there. He gives me such marvellous moral support.
Moral is hardly the word I should have chosen here.
Do you know if Mrs. Lancaster has any cachet favour anywhere?
Yes, Mum, I think so.
Oh, do get me one, Preston. I'm suffering tortures.
Very well, Miss.
Preston has such wonderful poise, hasn't she?
She needs it in this house.
I do wish Florence would hurry up. I want to borrow her green fan. I've got a new patoo frock that positively demands it.
She can't be long now.
I suppose I daren't ask Preston for the fan and creep away with it.
I shouldn't if I were you. Florence is very touchy over that sort of thing.
She promised it to me ages ago.
Surely there isn't any suggested hurry. You won't be singing until about 11:30.
My dear, I've got to rehearse. I don't know. Your sings, Preston. Thank you 1,000 times.
Soak it a little first, dear, or you'll choke. And I should detest that.
Now, I must lie down flat. Get out of the way, Helen.
Perhaps you'd like us both to go right out of the room and sit in the hall.
Dear Tony, I should never expect the least consideration from you. Thank you, Helen, darling. I shall always come to you whenever I'm ill.
That will be nice. Oh, Helen, for me! Have you been here long?
No, only a few hours.
My dear, I'm so frightfully sorry. We've been held up for ages in the traffic. Davis is a congenital idiot. Always manages to get to a turning just as a policeman puts out his hand and no initiative whatever. What's happened to Clara? Has she been run over?
No, dear. I've got a frightful head.
Bonnie, you know Tom, don't you? Tom Berry and Mr. Quint, and I'm sure you'll adore one another.
How are you? Very well, thank you. How sweet of you to ask me.
Is there anything I can do, Clara?
Yes, dear. Lend me your green fan for tonight.
All right, but you won't get too carried away with it, will you, dear? I should hate the feathers to come out. Does anyone want any tea?
No, thanks, dear.
Cocktails then?
It's too early.
It's never too early for a cocktail.
I should like to go quite quietly into a convent and never see anyone again, ever.
Gregory would be bored stiff in a convent.
We've just been your most frightful charity matinee. Nothing but inaudible speeches from dreary old actors and leading ladies nudging one another all over the stage. Cocktails, Preston, and ask Barker to wrap up my green fan for Miss Hibbert to take away with her.
Very good, Mum.
You're an angel, Florence. I think I'll sit up now.
Do, dear, then Tom will be able to sit down.
Oh, I really do feel most peculiar.
You look far from normal, dear.
Bonnie's rude to me anymore. I shall burst into tears.
Tom, give me a cigarette.
Here are some.
No, Tom is a special, rather hearty kind that I adore.
Lend me your lipstick, Helen. Mine is sunk down into itself.
Here you are.
Oh, what a pretty colour. I look far prettier than I feel.
Thank you, Angel.
I shan't be able to get down to the house till Saturday evening, Florence. I'm seeing Gregory off to Newcastle.
Why Newcastle?
His home's just near there. Isn't it too awful for him?
Oh, I'll be the time of your train, won't you?
Of course, dear.
You're smelling divinely, Florence. What is it?
It's good, isn't it?
Narcissus Noir of Caron. I use it.
Oh, yes, good, Bonnie.
Here's the fan, miss.
Thank you so much. You are sweet, Florence. A band gives me such a feeling of security when I'm singing modern stuff. I must rush now.
Don't you want a cocktail before you go?
No, darling, I'd only hiccup all the evening. Goodbye. Mwah, mwah. You've been such a comfort. Goodbye, Helen. Mwah. Pony? You will be nicer to me over the weekend, won't you? I shall be so depressed, what with Gregory going away and everything. Goodbye, Tom. I shall dine in bed and give way at every pore.
Poor Clara, she eternally labours under the delusion that she really matters.
We all be that a little. Awfully cruel to her, Bonnie.
She upsets my vibration.
I've taken a sudden hatred to that hat. That's better. Are you going to the New Lane tonight, either of you?
I'm not, but Bonnie is, of course.
It's going to be amazing, dear. What a cast! Marvelous Selwyn Steele, Nora Dean, and that perfect woman, Lily Burfield.
I can't stand her. She always overacts.
How can you, Helen? Did you see her in Simple Faith?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh, you're really too tiresome for words.
Her technique creaks like machinery.
It's sacrilege. It's too marvelous.
What do you think about it, Tom?
I've never seen her.
Yes, you have. About 3 months ago at the comedy.
Oh, I don't remember.
Don't remember? An artist like that? Good God, it's agony.
You'll look awfully tired at dinner time, Bonnie, if you don't calm down a little. This is special, my own invention.
Absolutely delicious.
A bit too sweet.
Tom, darling, don't be so taciturn. He's always taciturn after a matinee.
When's Nicky coming back?
Tomorrow. Isn't it too divine? He's been away for a whole year, but I saw him for a moment on my way to Paris last month.
Has he been working hard?
I suppose so, but you know what Nicky is, bless his heart.
I heard him play at Yvonne Mirabeau's.
She's a loathsome woman, isn't she?
Not as bad as that.
She's a half-wit. I can't bear half-wits.
She goes on so dreadfully about things, devastating.
Funny Nicky liking her so much.
Only because she keeps on saying how wonderful he is. That always appeals to Nicky.
How old is he now?
24. Isn't it absurd to think I have such a grown-up son? Old General Finwick said last Thursday he thought... Oh. Hello? Yes, my dear. How are you? Yes, so am I. Simply worn out. No, when? Yeah, perfectly marvelous. No, dear, it's a prescription, but I can let you have a little in a jar. What it is, all you do is just rub it on at night. Don't be so silly. Not in the least. If you send the car around, that will be all right. Very well. Goodbye, darling. I give Claire Hibbert 10 for stupidity, don't you, Helen? 100 to 10.
10's the limit.
I say, Florence, I think I'd better be getting along if I've got to be dressed in back here by 7:30.
You've got half an hour.
That's not very much.
The car's outside. Take it and send it straight back.
Can it drop me, Florence, dear? I always feel so much richer in your car than anyone else's.
Of course, Bonnie. Hello? Yes, speaking. How do you do?
Goodbye, Helen. It's been divine.
Ring me up at tea time tomorrow.
How perfectly sweet of you. No, now, really. Well, naturally, if you persist in saying such charming things. Oh, what nonsense.
Goodbye, Florence.
It's that awful General Fenwick. Goodbye, Bonnie dear. You're coming down to the house on Friday.
Yes, too lovely.
Helen's coming by 5 o'clock. You better travel together.
Perfect. Are you ready?
Quite.
You can drop me first, can't you? I'm not as young as I was.
Please forgive me. People rushing in and out of this house grows more like a railway station every day. Now, General, that was a deliberate compliment. Oh, ridiculous man. Very well. Goodbye. Oh my God, 10 for dreariness.
He's not a bad
Nobody tries to be that sort of frightful. Oh, I look like death. Isn't Tom a darling?
Yes, dear, without being aggressively brilliant.
silly to be sarcastic about Tom.
It's better than being maudlin about him.
I don't know what you mean. I'm not in the least maudlin and never have been about anybody. I sometimes wish I could be. I'm too hard.
Tom will let you down.
Let me down? Why? How? I don't understand.
You're more in love with him than he is with you.
Oh, don't be so absurd, Helen.
It's true.
He adores me, he worships me, he's never seen anything like me before in his life. I'm something strange, exotic.
You're more in love with him than he is with you.
You're getting on my nerves today, Helen.
You do see that I'm right, don't you?
If you knew some of the things he said to me.
I can guess them.
That boy was utterly unawakened until he met me.
He's very young.
I've taught him everything.
Or nothing.
Helen, I believe you're jealous.
Don't be a fool.
I wish I hadn't this fatal knack of seeing through people.
How's David?
I don't know, he ought to be home soon.
Doesn't he ever suspect anything?
Of course not, he adores me.
It seems so strange not to see what's
I'm
right.
devoted to David. I'd do anything for him, anything in the world, but he's grown old and I'm kept young. Does other things also. I can't help having a temperament, can I?
Temperament? No.
David's always loved me and never understood me. You see, I'm such an extraordinary mixture. I have so many sides to my character. I adore being at home and running the house and looking after David and Nicky.
You don't exactly overdo it.
Well, Nicky's been away for such ages. Also, one must be in London for the season. You can't expect me to bury myself in the country indefinitely. I shall be there practically all through the spring and summer.
Lovely tennis parties and cricket weeks and things.
Certainly.
You're a divine creature, Florence.
Am I? Hello? Yes, speaking? It's Inez, Julieta. I never went to her recital. Inez, darling, I didn't recognize your voice. Didn't you get my note? It was absolutely true. I was in agony. Inez, don't be angry. If you only knew how I longed for the sound of your wonderful, wonderful voice, darling. In my heart better than anyone else. Oh, that's Tom Barry, and he's only a boy. Of course I love you. Tomorrow, then. I do wish Inez wasn't so persistent, you know?
Never stop encouraging her.
Oh, no, I'm so tired of everyone.
Except Tom.
Yes, except Tom. He's such a darling.
How do you think he and Nicky will get on?
Marvelously. Tom loves music.
He says he does.
My dear, I took him to that Russian thing the other day and he sat in trance from beginning to end.
Poor Nicky.
Why do you say that?
Because I sometimes feel it.
Wonder why we're such friends. We're so opposite. You don't understand me a bit. I used to think you did, but you've been different lately. Unsympathetic.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have, over Tom. I believe you're in love with him yourself.
No, it isn't that.
Anyhow, you can't bear him being in love with me.
I don't think he is really. I quite realise he was very violently infatuated, but that is wearing off a bit now. I'm beginning to see him as he is.
No, it's not true. You don't understand.
We are friends, Florence, though we're so opposite. Do you really know the truth inside you? Or is all this shrill vanity real?
What's the matter with you?
You're 10 years older tan I am, but when I'm your age, I shall be 20 years older than you.
Darling, how deliciously involved. What can you mean by that?
I mean, I think it's silly not to grow old when the time comes.
Helen! What on earth is that? Nicky! But I had no idea. I thought you were coming tomorrow.
No, today. I wrote you.
I'm terribly, terribly excited.
Helen, dear. How are you?
Oh, splendid, Nicky. I can't get over your riding like this. I never realized.
Silly. You are looking awfully well.
Am I?
Wonderful, as usual.
I was talking to George Morrison only last Thursday.
Oh, the man who wrote that fearful book?
It isn't a fearful book, it's brilliant. Anyhow, he absolutely refused to believe that I had a grown-up son.
My dears, I must fly.
Oh, don't go yet.
I must, an hour as late as it is.
Be a little later then.
Remember 5 o'clock train on Friday.
Oh, she's coming down to the house. Divine.
Yes, if Florence is still speaking to me. Bye.
Have you been having a scene?
No, dear.
She's a darling, Helen.
Extremely stupid and tactless sometimes.
Doesn't feel as though I've been away at all.
I miss you appallingly. It's such a short time together in Paris. Did you enjoy all my letters?
I adored them. So did John Baggett. I used to read most of them aloud to him. He is mad on you. Saw your picture in the Tatler or something and fell in love with it.
Is he nice?
He's grand.
We must all dine at the embassy. When is he coming to England?
Not until after Christmas.
You must see my new photographs. They're wonderful.
It's heavenly. Being back.
Look.
Oh, I don't like that one.
How can you, Nicky? Tom likes that one best of all.
Who's Tom?
Tom Berrien. He's a dear. You'll like him frightfully. You know, the very nicest type of Englishman.
Oh, I hate the very nicest type of Englishman.
Don't be tiresome, Nicky. He's only 24, and they all think so well of him.
Oh, who?
All his officers and people. He's in the brigade.
Now that one really is enchanting. They've got your hair beautifully. Yes, my dear, it is perfect.
It is good. She's sweet, Madam Henderson. She said she won't hear of my paying for these. She says it's quite sufficient to be allowed to exhibit them in the window.
Is anyone dining in this evening?
No. Oh, I'd forgotten. I'm dining out with Tom.
Oh, I see.
Your first night home, too, are perfectly fiendish. What a fool I am to have muddled it up.
Oh, it doesn't matter, darling.
Oh, but it does. I wonder if we could get another seat.
Seat what for?
We're going to the first night of the new Elaine. It's going to be marvellous.
Oh, who's in it?
Nordine and Selwyn Steele.
Oh, God.
It's silly of you always to jeer at Selwyn Steele. He's a brilliant actor, if only he could get away from his wife.
I couldn't prepare him tonight anyway. I'm tired. Is father home yet?
No, I don't think so. Oh, I do feel such a beast.
Oh, don't be silly. Honestly, I don't mind a bit.
I know. You have a nice quiet dinner here and join us at the embassy afterwards.
Oh, is it a late night?
Yes, they play the most heavenly tune there now. Tom always makes them do it over and over again. I'll put it on.
How's Iris?
My dear, don't speak of her.
Why? What's she done?
She's been absolutely foul.
In what way?
Every way. I never trusted her, luckily. Thank God I've got instincts about people. Listen. Isn't this marvelous? She said the most filthy things to Gloria Craig about me. I always knew she was insanely jealous, but there are limits. Loathing of people's beck and call. Come dance.
I'm sorry, Brown. I rather liked her.
Only because she kept on saying how wonderful you were. She doesn't know a thing about music, really.
Oh, yes, she does.
Very bluff all that appreciation. Darling, how oddly you are dancing.
It's probably because we haven't danced together for so long.
Anyhow, now she's gone off to Monte Carlo with Violet Finch. Silly fool.
Nicky, my boy.
Hello, Father.
I thought Florence said tomorrow.
Mother muddled it up.
You look rather tired.
I'm splendid. How's everything?
Oh, same as usual. I've made lots of improvements down at the house.
David thinks and talks of nothing but the farm.
It's beginning to pay a bit. Peterson's an awfully good man.
We'll make a grand tour of it on Sunday.
Well, have you enjoyed yourself in Paris?
Oh, yes, rather. It's a splendid place to work.
Well, it never struck me that way quite, but still.
Sophie de Molignac said Nicky's playing and proved wonderfully.
I'm so glad, Nicky.
I've been doing some Spanish stuff lately.
I wish I knew more about it.
Never mind, Father.
Oh, come to my room and talk. I can't bear that thing.
Father's such a beast. He never will dance with me.
Is the evening news anywhere about?
Yes, here.
I'm so glad you're home again, Nicky. Now, don't forget. Come and talk.
David's so much happier in the country.
Well, why on earth doesn't he retire and live at the house for good?
Work has become such a habit with him. He's always hated getting out of habits.
Mother, I've got something rather important to tell you.
Darling, how thrilling. What is it?
I'm engaged to be married.
What?
Practically. As much as one can be these days.
Nicky?
Don't look so stricken.
But darling, I never sort of visualized you being engaged or married or anything.
Why not?
Not old enough.
I'm 24.
You do look it, thank
How
God.
do you really feel about it, Mother?
Darling, I hardly know what to say. You sprung it on me so suddenly. Who is she?
A girl called Bunty Mannering.
What a silly name.
It isn't at all. It's very attractive.
Is she an actress or student or what?
No, she's what is technically termed a lady.
Do you think she'll like me?
Well, she went mad over your photograph.
Which one?
The looking out of the window one.
Oh, that really is one of the best I've ever had done.
She said, you have the face of an heroic little boy.
What a divine thing to say!
Oh, she does say divine things! She's supremely intelligent.
Is she in Paris?
No, but she came over with me today.
Where does she live?
Just around the corner in Carberry Square.
Near the Churchingtons?
Well, it's a mother's house, but mother's away just now. So I asked her to change quickly and come on here.
Nicky!
Why not? I want you to see her as soon as possible.
It's an awful shock, you know.
Oh, nonsense, Mother. You're quite excited about it, really.
I shall be charming to her.
Then she'll adore you at once. Probably too much, and I shall be jealous.
You'd better both dine here together and come on to the embassy. How old is she?
23.
What does she do?
Nothing much. She writes things occasionally.
Where did you meet her?
First of all, at a party at Olive Lloyd Kennedy's.
Oh, yeah, Olive Lloyd Kennedy, she's a cat.
Then I met her again at Marion Fawcett's. A frightful sort of reception affair. She was staying with her.
She seems to move exclusively with my worst enemies. Is she pretty?
I don't know. I haven't really noticed.
Oh, darling, I do feel so extraordinary about it.
Why extraordinary?
It's a milestone, isn't it? You being engaged, a definite milestone? Do you hope she'll like me? I must go and dress. Tom will be here at 7:30. Bring it to my room when she comes.
Don't go for a minute.
I must really. Tom will be furious.
Oh, damn, Tom!
Don't go taking one of your tiresome prejudices against him.
All right, I'll try not to.
He's frightfully good looking.
Oh.
And he adores music.
Now then, Marlowe.
He does, honestly.
Good.
And he dances beautifully.
Well, I shall never stop dancing with him
And
then.
he's so good at games.
He sounds adorable.
Of course, he needs knowing.
So do I.
But you will make an effort, though, darling, won't you? For my sake.
Yes, Mother.
And we'll all have a divine time together. Tom and me and you and what's her name?
Bunty.
Oh, yes, of course, Bunty.
This is her, I expect.
Do you feel wonderful about her?
Oh, yes.
It is thrilling, isn't it, being in love?
Yes.
Your father was right. You look awfully tired, Nicky.
What nonsense. I feel grand.
Miss Mannering.
Bunty. You've been quick.
I've simply flown.
Bunty. Here is Mother.
Oh.
This is frightfully exciting, isn't it?
I've told her.
Are you furious?
Of course not. Why should I be, especially now?
It's absolutely incredible, you being Nicky's mother.
Am I anything like you thought I'd be?
Yes, exactly. Only I couldn't quite believe it until I saw you.
Take off that perfectly divine cloak and have a cigarette. I've got to rush and dress now because I'm terribly late, but you're dining here with Nicky and joining Tom Varian and me at the embassy afterwards.
Tom Varian?
Yes, you know him.
I did when I was a child, if it's the same one.
Nicky, I don't feel extraordinary about it anymore. I'm delighted.
Angel.
Perhaps Bunty would like to come down to the house on Friday for the weekend.
Oh, yes. Marvelous.
It's awfully sweet of you, Mrs. Lancaster.
Please call me Florence. I can't bear Mrs. Lancaster. I must go now. Tom will be here at any moment. That's him on the table.
Oh. Yes. It is the same one.
How too divine. Hello? Elsa, darling, how are you? What, tonight? Oh, perfectly heavenly, of course, I'd adore it. Listen, Nicky's just back from Paris. Can he come too with Bunty Mannering? Yes, he's here. See you tonight, dear. Yeah, Nicky, talk to Elsa. I'm so glad about you and Nicky. It's too wonderful.
Hello, Elsa. Well, yeah, I had no idea you were in London. I'm terribly thrilled. Oh, you haven't. All those lovely tunes you played for me in Paris. Mm-hmm. Oh, amazing. I am glad. Have you done anything with that tango? Good. Yes, we must play it tonight. I want Bunty to hear it. Yes, it is perfect, isn't it? Well, goodbye, dear. Bye, dear.
What?
I'm terribly happy.
So am I.
Do you remember how we planned all this? Coming home together, breaking it to Mother and everything?
Rather.
Do you really like her?
Oh, I adore her. She's a perfect angel.
I told her your heroic little boy line. She loved it.
Well, it's true, you know. Rather defiant, too, laughing at fate.
Doesn't Paris seem ages away now?
Different life altogether.
That nasty little bit of channel is such an enormous gulf, really. Did you put that dress on purpose?
Perhaps.
You are a devil!
It's such fun being reminded of things.
And such agony, too.
Nicky, darling, why agony?
It's always agony being in love. And I started loving you in that dress.
Did you?
Don't pretend you didn't know.
I suppose one always knows, really.
From the very first moment.
Yes.
That sort of spark.
Your playing helped a lot.
I meant it to.
Calculating pig.
Have a cigarette?
All right.
I wish we weren't so free.
Why? What do you mean?
I feel I should like to elope. Or something violently romantic like that.
Well, there'd hardly be much point in it now, would there?
Perhaps not. How much do you love me?
I don't know.
It's fun analyzing one's emotions.
Marvelous fun.
And a great comfort, too, when things go wrong. But it kills sentiment, stone dead.
A good job, too.
You are frightfully hard, Bunty.
Am I?
Much harder than me, really.
You've got so much hysteria.
I can't help it.
Of course not. It's your temperament. You just burst out suddenly.
Not so badly as I used to.
You're growing older.
God, yes. Isn't it foul?
Hell, my dear.
It's strange how Mother's generation always longed to be old when they were young. And we strain with every nerve to keep young.
That's because we can see what's coming so much more clearly.
Wouldn't it be terrible to know exactly? I feel frightened sometimes.
Why?
Well, we're all so hectic and nervy.
It doesn't matter. Probably only means we shan't live so long.
Shut up! Shut up!
Mr. Varian.
How are you? I'm Nicky. I came over today instead of tomorrow.
Oh,
Do you know Bunty Mannering?
Bunty! I say, I am glad.
Well, we better have some cocktails. Preston, bring us some cocktails!
This is jolly. I didn't know what had become of you.
I've been living in Paris a good deal.
How many years ago was it?
During the war. The last time I saw you, you were at Sandhurst.
Such a pretty place.
You've hardly altered a bit. More grown up, of course.
Oh, this is most affecting.
Bunty and I used to know each other awfully well.
What fun!
Nicky.
This is thrilling. There's nothing so charming as a reunion.
Nicky and I have been traveling all day. Boats and trains get on his nerves.
When the cocktails come, tell Preston to bring mine to me in Father's room.
Nicky, don't be so silly.
Surely it's not silly to want to talk to my aged father after a year's debauch in Paris. I fail to see why you should have the monopoly on reunions.
Well, don't be long.
Cheerio.
Oh, God.
What's up?
This temperamental musician.
Silly ass.
Oh, he isn't really. He's only jealous.
Why is he?
We're by way of being engaged.
What?
Why not?
Are you in love with him?
Yes. Isn't it damnable?
Good Lord.
What are you laughing at?
It seems so funny. You being in love with that sort of chap?
What do you mean by that sort of chap?
Oh, I don't know. That type seems so unlike you.
Type?
Yes, you know. Up in the air, effeminate.
You're more bucolic than you used to be, Tom.
Here I say.
Please take Mr. Nicky's into him in his father's room.
Yes, miss.
Is Mrs. Lancaster nearly ready?
I think so, sir.
Ask her to hurry, we shall be late.
Yes, sir.
Well. I can laugh now.
Why?
I've only just realized something.
What?
We shall see each other again over the weekend.
Are you coming down to the house?
Yes.
That's splendid! come for a tramp Sunday morning and we'll talk.
What about?
Oh, lots of things. Old times.
Old times, Tom.
Cheerio.
You must come next Sunday week.
Thanks awfully, I'd love to.
I'm only singing ballads, but you know what Sunday concerts are.
Oh yes, rather.
What's on the other side?
You've got the cutest ears and eyes and nose. Do put on the Charleston.
No, don't put it on, Nicky. Play it yourself. You always make a gramophone go too quickly.
Yes, go on, Nicky.
No, thanks, not another. I'm dancing with Tom.
Missing one, Tom.
Righto.
Come along, Mr. Fairlight. You're doing a serious dramatist stuff.
I warn you, I'm no good. With that figure, you look pretty marvelous. Anyhow, I'm sure you can say tomorrow. Absolutely. Exactly what's It makes Nicky furious as a rule, but tonight you can walk it like that stupid little fool but in manner to take it beauty. And we don't have to go cover Piggy. You did it.
Isn't this a divine tune? Fascinating. Darling, I do
sick of playing. Let's have the gramophone again. Here's a light, dearie.
Whose coffee is this? Someone drank mine and I'd hardly touched it.
If it had no sugar in it, it's mine.
It's had no sugar in it.
Try again. Try again. Right. Right. Oh.
Oh, you're dancing abominably.
I don't know, I suppose I'm tired.
You're not usually tired when you're dancing.
Oh, Florence, don't nag. When I say Florence, I'm sorry.
And let's stop the music for a moment and think of something really marvelous to do.
No, let's go on dancing.
I'm exhausted.
What was that divine game we played coming back from Paris, Helen?
Just ordinary clumps, wasn't it?
Oh, hello, clumps.
What about the history game?
What's that?
Oh, no, Nicky, it's too intellectual. I've got a mahjong set in the drawing room.
How divine. Let's make up a table immediately.
I won't be happy until someone gives me a set made entirely of jade.
Come on, Bunty.
I can't play it.
You can. You used to play it in Paris with Yvonne.
I've forgotten it.
Well, you'll soon remember again.
Come along, Clara.
I insist on Mr. Fairlight's learning.
I'm afraid I'm no good at that sort of thing.
You'll be able to put it in one of your plays.
Come and watch. It's too thrilling for words.
Have you only one set, Florence?
Yes, it's Mr. Maddening. Clara promised to bring hers down. I forgot.
Does Bruce Fairlight play bridge?
No, I don't think so.
Dramatists are such a comfort in a house party, aren't they?
Are you coming, Florence?
No.
Oh.
Please don't let me stop you going. I'm sure you're dying to be with the others.
I say, Florence, I wish you wouldn't go on like that.
I don't know what is the matter with you. You've never behaved like this before.
I haven't behaved like anything.
You've been exceedingly rude both at dinner and afterwards.
I wasn't at dinner.
Yes, you were. You snapped me up when I said I didn't like Elsie Saunders.
You know perfectly well she's a friend of mine.
Well, she oughtn't to be, not after the things she said about me.
You will go on imagining.
Not the sort, I know. If you weren't so dense, you'd see, too, the jealousy I have to put up with. I get so tired of it all, so desperately tired.
Talk about being different. You're different, too.
I'm unhappy.
Why?
Because I hate to see you being put against me.
Florence.
You'll understand one day. They're all very subtle, but I can see.
Nobody said a word to me about you. They better not try.
Why? What would you do?
I'd be furious. And I'd let them see it, too.
Tom!
Yes.
I forgive you.
I can't bear you being angry with me.
Can't you really?
It makes me feel beastly.
Come and sit here.
That's a lovely dress.
It is sweet, isn't it?
You always wear wonderful clothes.
Do I, Tom?
You know you do.
Do you remember the very first time we met?
Rather.
Oxford's so full of romance, isn't it?
It was when you came down.
Oh, thank you, Tom, dear.
We did have fun.
You used to come up to matinees and I'd motor you back afterwards.
Really?
Oh, that reminds me, I've got seats for Rolling Stones on Tuesday, don't forget.
You never said you were going to get them.
Well, it doesn't matter, I thought I did. We'd better dine at Claridge's.
But Florence, I can't come.
Why not?
I promised to go out.
Who with?
Mother.
Well, can't you put her off? It will be such a good first night.
Well, you see, as a matter of fact, it's rather awkward. I put her off the other day.
Oh, I see. Well, there's some other night then.
Hello, Florence. I thought you were in the drawing room.
They're playing mahjong and there's only one set. I shall break in presently.
I'll just go and see how they're getting on.
Yes, do.
Come and play soon.
Don't you think this is a divine frock?
Very pretty.
You and Helen seem to be very thick at dinner. What were you talking about?
Nothing much. I like Helen.
Only because she flatters you and listens to everything you say.
She doesn't flatter me.
I suppose she was talking about the farm and giving her opinions.
We did talk about the farm a little.
She doesn't know a thing about it, really.
Perhaps not. But it passed the time.
What's the matter, darling?
I've got a slight headache.
Well, why don't you go bise?
I can't, it's much too early.
I am sick of Mahjong.
Who's playing now?
Bonnie and Helen and Clara are trying to teach Bruce Fairlight, and he's an awful fool at it.
You must get Bonte out of that habit of contradicting everything people say.
I don't see why.
Bad breeding.
Oh, who cares nowadays? We all have a right to our opinions.
She seems to forget how much older than she is.
That's no argument, Mother. It's silly to only remember your age when someone says something you don't like.
She's having a bad effect on you.
Nonsense.
You've changed since Paris.
Naturally.
Never used to be rude to me.
Well, damn, I'm not rude.
Yes, you are.
Well, don't start running down, Bunty.
Stop playing!
God!
What's happening? Nothing. Bunty's just putting Nicky against me. I knew she tried to.
You must be having a delightful evening. You leave the drawing room having a row with Bunty and come here and round Florence.
Mother's impossible.
She's no different from what she's always been.
But I haven't realized it before.
You haven't been engaged before.
I'm hating this house party.
Don't say that here, it's not kind.
You know I don't mean you.
Are you very much in love?
Yes. No. I don't know.
I wonder.
It's utterly devastating, anyhow.
When did you meet her?
Now, 5 months ago.
What was she doing in Paris?
I don't know. Fooling about.
Splendid.
She's been studying French literature.
Why?
She's going to write herself someday.
Oh, I see.
Helen, do you like her?
I can't tell yet. Yesterday was the first time I'd ever set eyes on her.
She's wonderfully intelligent.
Yes, I'm sure she is.
You don't like her?
I tell you, I'm not sure yet.
You know, that is generally the way. Once friends always hate one another.
It is difficult for you, isn't it?
I should so like you to like her.
Very well, I'll try.
She's utterly opposite to me in every way.
Yes, I see that.
But that's what it ought to be, isn't it?
It depends.
I need a sort of restraining influence terribly.
Yes, Nicky.
She's awfully good for me.
Is she?
Yes. She curbs me when I get temperamental and silly.
I always felt you needed encouraging more than curbing.
Oh, Helen. Aren't you a darling?
I mean it.
You're wrong, though. I'm all over the place.
Anyhow, I do hope you'll be very happy with her.
Well, I don't suppose I shall ever be that. I haven't caught the knack.
Do you work hard?
Yes.
Really hard?
Frightfully.
Liar?
If you had seen me in Paris, studying, all night long until the grey dawn put the guttering candle to shame, and my nerveless hands dropped from the keys.
Candles gutter awfully quickly when they're burnt at both ends.
Meaning that I look a debauched wreck of my former self?
Exactly.
If you go on encouraging me at this rate, I shall commit suicide.
You do resent anyone taking a real interest in you, don't you?
I distrust it.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not worth it.
You seem to be suffering from a slight inferiority complex.
Not a bit of it. I'm gay and witty and handsome.
Oh, Nick, you're so mad at me.
Oh, don't be cross, Helen.
I'm one of the few people who know what you're really like, and you won't give me the credit for it.
Do you think you do? Honestly?
Yes, and I'm exceedingly worried about you.
Oh, you needed to be.
You're sensitive and reserved and utterly foolish.
Thank you. I'm beginning to feel beautifully picturesque.
And you're scared.
Why? What have I to be scared about?
Would you like me to tell you?
No.
Why not?
Because you're a sentimentalist. And you'll see things that aren't there at all.
You're far more sentimental than I.
Darling Helen, you have such a lovely mind. It's like a Christmas card. Frosted robins and sheep wandering about in the snow. Bleating.
All the same, I should give up drugs if I were you.
Helen!
Well?
I don't know what you mean.
Do you think I can't see?
You're being terribly funny, aren't you?
Fool, you're an utter little fool.
Oh, don't be dramatic, dear.
Nicky, I thought you had more common sense than that. I credited you with more intelligence than that.
You know, if you persist in being absurd...
Nicky, don't resist me. Don't fight me. I'm your friend. I wouldn't have said a word if I weren't. You've got to stop it. You haven't gone very far. There's still time. Nicky!
Oh, shut up! Shut up, don't speak so loudly.
Throw it away.
When did you find out?
Tonight, you know, when you were playing, but I've guessed for ages.
You needn't be frightened, Helen. I only take just the tiniest little bit. Once in a blue moon.
If anything goes wrong, you'll take a lot. Throw it away.
What could go wrong?
Never mind, throw it away.
I can't. Look out, somebody's coming.
Hello.
Hiya, Father.
What's the matter?
Matter, why?
You look very worried.
Helen and I have just been having a grand heart-to-heart talk. We've undone our back hair, loosened our stays, and wallowed in it.
Oh, I see.
We haven't seen one another for so long, it was inevitable.
We never came and looked at the farm this morning. I waited for you.
I'm awfully sorry, Father. I just went on sleeping.
I'll see you later, Nicky.
All right.
How do you think your mother's looking?
Splendid. Same as ever.
Would you like a cigar?
No thanks, Father. I'm not very good at them.
I was just on my way to bed. There are far too many people in the house.
Well, you must be used to that by now.
You ought to stay down here, you know, during the week. Get some fresh air.
I've got such millions of things to do in London.
Worth doing.
Yes, of course.
You look as though you needed a rest.
You needn't worry about me. I feel splendid.
She seems a nice girl.
Who? Bunty?
Yeah.
She's a darling.
Quiet and untiresome. When do you propose to get married?
I don't know. The engagement's only sort of a tryout, you know?
I see. I didn't realize that. I'm so unversed in modern technicalities.
That's our idea, really, just to tread water for a bit.
Sounds an excellent plan.
I'm awfully glad you like her.
Is, she musical?
Oh, yes. Frightfully.
Good.
Here, Father. I think I will come down here for a few days and work quietly.
Well, if you do that, I'll go up to the flat every other day. I see so little of you when you're in London.
It's settled then. I wonder what Mother will say.
Oh, I'll talk to her.
All right. She won't bother about us much.
I don't suppose she will. I think I'm getting along to bed now. Good night, my boy.
Good night, Father. Let me woo you with a little screaming.
Please stop.
I'm unappreciated. That's what it is. I say, Bunty.
What?
Before you say anything awful to me, I am sorry for being rude just now.
So you ought to be.
Will you forgive me?
Yes, I forgive you.
I've been irritable all the evening.
Give me a cigarette, Nicky.
Yeah. Now, what did you want to talk to me about?
Lots of things. Us.
Oh, I see.
Don't you think it's rather silly being engaged?
No, not at all.
I do.
Simply because we've bickered a bit tonight?
No, not only because of that.
Why then?
Can't you see?
No.
Well, we're not very suited to each other, are we?
Why do you suddenly say that?
Because I've only just realised it.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's not your fault particularly.
Oh, I'm glad.
It's circumstances and surroundings.
Oh, that can be altered quite easily. We'll change the shape of the house. We'll take all that all away and turn that into a studio. You love studios, don't you? And then we'll transform the drawing room into an enormous area.
It's practically that now.
And then...
Shut up, Nicky.
I'm only trying to be amenable.
Are you really?
Yes. I'm putting up a sort of defense, Bunty. I have a feeling you're going to be unpleasant, and I want to establish myself comfortably before you start.
I don't want to be unpleasant, only honest.
You won't let the two run together, will you?
You're hopeless. Hopeless, hopeless.
Yes, I suppose I am, rather.
In a way, I'm glad. It makes it easier.
Does it?
Yes. You're not in love with me, really. You couldn't be.
Please don't say that.
Why don't you face things properly?
One generally has to in the end. I like to put it off for as long as possible.
That's cowardly.
Don't be pompous, darling.
Oh, you're great help, I must say.
Why should I help to destroy my own happiness?
That's self-pity and self-deception.
Why are you going on like this?
Because I tell you I've realised the truth.
I suppose you've taken a hatred to Mother.
Oh, no, not a hatred.
You don't like her.
No, not very much.
Why not? She likes you.
She detests me.
Nonsense. Why should she?
Because I'm young.
What a filthy thing to say, Bunty.
It's true.
No, it's nothing of the sort.
You're so stupid sometimes.
Thank you.
Don't let's start bickering again.
Well, we won't discuss Mother anymore then.
You started it.
I wish I could make you understand her like I do. I mean, she's awfully irritating, I know, but deep down, she is marvelous, in spite of everything.
Everything.
Yes, everything. Don't be a beast, Bunty. Just try to see her point a little, even if you do dislike her. And she's terribly silly about being young. But she's been used to so much admiration and flattery and everything always, she sort of feels she can't give it up. You do see that, don't you? She hasn't really anything in the least comforting to fall back upon. She's not clever. A real kind of brain cleverness. And Father's no good, and I'm no good, and all the time she's wanting life to be as it was instead of as it is. There's no harm in her anywhere. She's just young inside. I can't you imagine the utter foulness of growing old? Especially if you've been lovely and attractive like she was. The beautiful Flo Lancaster. She used to be known as that. I could remember her when I was quite small, coming up to say goodnight to me, looking too perfectly radiant for words. She used to come to the school too, sometimes, and everyone used to go mad over her, and I used to get frightfully proud and excited.
I've never heard you talk like this before.
I don't suppose I ever have.
I like you better clear cut, not blurred by sentiment.
To describe you as hard would be inadequate. You're metallic.
I can see straight.
Can you?
Yes, we could never be happy together.
Perhaps not.
Shall we just finish then?
Certainly. I am sorry we were too modern to have an engagement ring. You'd have been able to give it back to me so beautifully.
Don't be ridiculous.
Better than being blurred by sentiment.
My dear, I'm shattered. And I'm going straight to bed. Probably for several weeks.
Why?
He's coming.
Who's coming?
Bruce Fairlight. I've been teaching him mahjong. He's master brains. Agony, dear.
Very interesting, that game.
I thought you like it.
It's interesting psychologically with the concentration and suspense.
I'm quite exhausted. It must be the country air.
It was too lovely because I started with 2 red dragons in my hand.
I wondered who had them.
One more tune, Nicky, before we go to bed.
Yes, just one.
I'll play I Love You. That's such a romantic tune.
Do.
What time is everyone going up in the morning? 10 o'clock's the best. We'll have breakfast at 9 downstairs.
Do you know that in London I can never do more than nibble a piece of thin toast, and whenever I'm away I eat enormously?
How very peculiar.
Your tone revolts me, Nicky. You must never be irascible with your old friends.
I haven't got any.
Nicky?
Sorry, Helen.
I don't know what's the matter with Nicky. He's been in a wild temper all evening. His first weekend home, too.
And such a pity when so much trouble is being taken to make me feel happy and cozy. Come and dance, Bunty.
No, not now.
Oh, please, dance with me, Bunty. Chaps must have exercise.
You dance with Bunty for me, I'll dance with Tom.
Great thing in this world. Obviously, be over and
You're infuriating, Helen. It's a wonderful ball. What do you think about this mischievous passion, Fairlight? I never read novels on principle. Well, you must read this. It's colossal.
Don't be led away by fawning, Mr. Fairlight. There's no discrimination.
But I tell you, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Nonsense.
There are times, Helen, when I could willingly see you dead at my feet.
Let us go, for heaven's sake.
How's that?
I think you'd better go to bed, Nicky.
We're all going anyhow?
Oh, not yet, please, Mummy, dear. I'm having such a wonderful time!
I always knew the continent was fatal for the young.
No. Nicky, upset. It's my fault. We're not engaged anymore.
Why? What's happened?
Oh, nothing happened. It was never very serious, really.
I had a feeling that it was.
You were wrong.
Well, I must say it's all been rather abrupt.
Well, it's better to get things over at once. Cleanly, if you're not quite sure. Don't you think?
Well, I'm sorry, Bunty. If you feel that way about it, there's nothing more to be said.
Well, I wouldn't have mentioned it at all. Only you all seem to be blaming Nicky for being irritable.
Poor Nicky.
I really must go to bed now. I'm so tired. Good night, Florence, dear.
Good night, Clara. Breakfast at 9. Have you got books and everything you want?
Yes, thanks. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Everyone.
Tom, be an angel and fetch me a glass of milk. It's in the drawing room.
All right.
Come on up, Florence. I'm dead.
So am I. You turn out the lights when you come.
With beautiful precision, dear.
Tell Tom to bring my milk up to me, somebody.
All right.
Good night, Mr. Fairlight.
Good night.
Good night, Florence.
Well, I suppose we'd all better go up.
I don't feel I could sleep just yet.
Hello. Where's Florence?
Gone up to bed. Would you bring her milk to her?
What's become of Nicky?
In the smoking room, I think.
Good night, Miss Mannering.
Oh, good night.
I shall come too. Good night.
Good night.
Right.
When you're writing, do your characters grow as you go along?
No, I think each one out minutely beforehand.
How too intriguing.
So you've broken it off already?
Yes.
I didn't know you were going to do it so soon.
It's better to get things over.
What did he say?
Nothing much.
Was he furious?
So what does it matter? Don't let's go on about it.
It's all damned awkward.
What?
The whole thing.
You're rather scared, aren't you?
No, not exactly. Now that I've got you to back me up.
I shall be glad when we're out of this house.
So shall I.
I hate the atmosphere.
I don't know how I've stood it for so long.
You didn't notice it until I came. Any more than I noticed Nicky's until you came.
It's queer, isn't it?
We're reverting to type, don't you see?
How do you mean?
Never mind. It's true.
Do you think I'm being a cad to Florence?
Yes, I rather do.
But Bunty, you said this morning...
That I didn't see how you could help yourself. Neither I do. It's frightfully difficult. But it's not altogether your fault, any more than it would have been my fault if I had married Nicky. One gets carried away by personality, glamour, magnetism. They're beastly treacherous things.
You are wonderful.
Don't be silly.
You're so cool and clear, and you see everything.
I'm sorry for Nicky.
Oh, damn, Nicky!
Oh, Tom.
Why? What's up?
You're so dead set.
You're worth 10 of him any day. What's the use of a chap like that? He doesn't do anything except play the piano, and he can't play games, and he's always trying to be
Shut up, Tom! You're being rather cheap. I haven't reverted to type so quickly that I can't see some of the things that I'm missing.
I wish I knew what you were talking about.
Oh, God. I feel so miserable.
I say, Bunty, for heaven's sake.
Touch me! Get me my shoes.
I say, old girl, hadn't you better go up to bed? You're all wrought up.
He said beastly things.
I'll wring his neck.
Shut up, Tom. Shut up.
Bunty, stop crying. There's a dear. Please, please, stop crying.
I can't find my hanky.
Here's mine.
Tom,
Yes, Florence?
what does this mean?
I'm sorry, Florence.
You wasn't a cat.
Oh, look here. I should like to say...
Quiet, mind your own business.
the matter? Is somebody hurt?
You're not hurt.
I banged my hand.
Lyle!
Mother, don't be so stupid. I have to talk
Don't
to you.
speak to me!
No, Mother, not now. No, no, please. It's all wrong. Control yourself. Auntie, I want you to go to bed, please.
All right.
Tom, I want an explanation, please.
How dare you speak to me
Get
like
out of my
that?
house, get out of my house.
This is disgusting.
Get out of my house!
I shall leave the first thing in the morning. It is far too late tonight.
Tom, you kissed her. You kissed her. I saw you.
Yes.
In this house.
Yes, Florence, I apologize.
Apologize. You're beneath contempt. Never speak to me again. Never touch me again. I hate you.
Look here, Florence. I am desperately sorry. You see, I'm afraid I love her.
You dare to stand there and say that to me? It's incredible. After all I've done for you, after all we've been to one another. Love, you don't know what it means. You've lied to me all these months. It's incredible. It's disgusting. It's humiliating. Get out of my sight.
Very well.
To get him back.
Don't be silly.
What can I do? What can I do?
Do you mean to say you'd take him back after tonight?
No, never. Not if he crawled to me, never.
Well, then make up your mind definitely never to see him again, whatever happens.
Yes, I will.
Why don't you go to bed now?
Oh, I couldn't sleep.
Put it all out of your mind. Make an effort.
I'm so unhappy.
Think of Nicky.
Nicky's young.
That doesn't make it any better for him.
He'll get over it in the long run.
Long run never counts at the moment.
He wasn't in love, really.
As much as either you or he are capable of it.
He's well rid of her. She never have appreciated him properly. She hasn't the intelligence.
I don't agree with you there. She's got intelligence right enough.
Treacherous little beast.
Yes, but far-seeing.
Are you standing up for her? Do you think it was right of her to get Tom away from me?
Yes, quite right.
Helen!
To do her justice, she didn't deliberately set herself out to get him away from you at all. She discovered that, despite the somewhat decadent years, Tom was still her type and likely to remain so. So, with common sense, she decided to shelve Nicky forthwith and go for him.
Her type, indeed.
Yes, she'd have been quite a nice girl, really, if she'd been left alone and not allowed to go to Paris and get into the wrong set.
You are extraordinary, Helen. Do you realize you're making excuses for the girl who's betrayed your best friend?
Don't be so utterly absurd. I'm not making excuses. And anyhow, she hasn't betrayed you. She hardly knows you in the first place. She's just followed her instincts, regardless of anyone else's feelings, just as you've done thousands of times.
Helen, you've been horrible to me.
I'm not. I'm trying to make you see. You're battering your head against silly cast-iron delusions, and I want to dislodge them.
Helen, I'm so unhappy, so desperately unhappy.
Yes, but not because you've lost Tom. It's something far deeper than that.
What then?
You're on the wrong tack and have been for years.
I don't understand.
You won't understand.
Oh, my eyes are sore. Oh, it's so lovely this and so refreshing.
I think I'll go to bed now.
No, wait a little longer with me, please, Helen. Just a few minutes.
It's so hot in here.
Open the window, then. Well. Do you ever do this? It's divine.
What a wonderfully clear night. You can see the hills right across the valley. The moon's so strong.
I chose this room in the first place because the view is so lovely.
Do you ever look at it?
Of course I do, often.
It's been raining. I do wish you'd throw away that cigarette. Spoils the freshness.
Soothing me, calming my nerves.
I do wish I could help you, really.
You are helping me, darling. You're being an angel.
Don't talk so emptily, Florence. I'm worth more than that.
I don't know what you mean.
It sickens me to see you getting back so soon.
Getting back?
Yes, to your usual worthless attitude of mine. Helen! A little while ago, you were really suffering for once, and in a way I was glad, because it showed you were capable of a genuine emotion. Now you're glossing it over, smiling it down with your returning vanity. Soon you won't be unhappy anymore. Just vindictive.
Don't look at me like that. I'm too wretched.
Florence, dear, forgive me, but it's true, and I don't want it to be.
Nicky.
Helen, I want to talk to Mother, please.
All right, Nicky.
What is it?
I couldn't sleep.
Florence, dear, good night.
No, Helen, don't go yet.
I must.
Helen, stay with me.
Please go.
I can't stay, Florence. It's quite impossible.
I don't know what you mean by coming here and ordering Helen out of my room.
I'm sorry, Mother. I felt I had to talk to you alone.
At this hour of the night, you're mad.
No, I'm not. I think I'm probably more unhappy than I've ever been in my entire life.
You're young, you'll get over it.
I hope so.
I knew the first moment I saw her what sort of a girl she was.
Oh, Mother!
It's true, I had an instinct about her.
It's all been rather a shock, you know?
Yes, dear, I know, but you mustn't be miserable about her. She isn't worth it.
Please don't, Mother.
Oh, Nicky, please go now. There's a dear, my head's splitting.
No, I can't yet.
Take some aspirin, that'll calm your nerves.
I'm afraid I'm a little beyond aspirin.
I don't want you to think I don't sympathize with you, darling. My heart aches for you. I know so well what you're going through.
Do you?
It's agony, absolute agony. But you see, it will wear off. It always does in time. Nicky, please go now.
I want to talk to you.
Tomorrow, we'll talk tomorrow.
No, now. Now!
You're inconsiderate and cruel. I've told you my head's bursting.
I want to sympathize with you, too. And try to understand everything as well as I can.
Understand everything?
Yes, please.
I don't know what you mean.
Will you tell me things? As though I was somebody quite different.
What kind of things?
Things about you, your life.
Oh, really, Nicky, you're ridiculous. Asking me to tell you stories.
Mother, sit down quietly. I am not going out of this room until I have got everything straight in my mind.
Nicky, please,
Tom Berrien has been your lover, hasn't he?
Nicky, how dare you!
Come, please, it is your only chance.
How dare you speak to me like that? Suggest such a thing!
It's true, isn't it?
Go away! Go away!
It's true, isn't it?
No!
It's true,
No,
isn't
I
it?
tell you, no!
You're lying to me, Mother. What's the use of that?
Mad.
Does Father know?
Go away.
Does Father know?
Your father knows nothing. He doesn't understand me any more than you do.
Then it's between us alone.
No, I tell you, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mother, don't go on like that. It's useless. We have arrived at a crisis. Whatever we do, we cannot escape from it. Now, I know we are neither of us very strong-minded or capable, and we haven't much hope of coming through this successfully, but let's try! So good pretending anymore. Our lives are built up of pretenses. All the time. For years. Ever since I began to think at all, I have been both stirring up my illusions about you. People have made remarks to me, not realizing that I was your son, and I've pretended that they were inspired by cattiness and jealousy. I've noticed things. Trivial, incriminating little incidents, and I've brushed them aside and not thought any more about them because you're my mother. Clever and beautiful and successful. And naturally, people would slander you because you were so beautiful. But now I know. They were right!
Nicky, I implore you, go away now.
No, I can't.
You're cruel, cruel to torment me.
I don't want to be cruel.
Then go back to bed then, now, and we'll talk everything over quietly another time.
It's true about Tom Barry, isn't it?
No.
We're on awfully dangerous ground. I am straining every nerve to keep myself under control. If you lie to me and try to evade me anymore tonight, I will not be answerable for what might happen.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm frightened.
Oh, Nicky, darling.
Oh, please don't touch me!
Have a little pity for me.
Was Tom Barry your lover?
Yes.
I want to understand why.
He loved me.
But did you love him?
Yes.
It was something you couldn't help, wasn't it? Something that's always been the same in you since you were quite young, wasn't it?
Yes, Nicky, yes.
And there have been others too, haven't there?
I won't be cross-questioned anymore. I won't.
I wish you'd understand. I'm not blaming you. I'm trying to help you, to help us both.
What good can all this possibly do?
Clear things up, of course. I can't go anymore half-knowing.
Why should that side of my life be any concern of yours?
Mother!
I am different from other women, completely different. And you expect me to be the same? Why can't you realize that with a temperament like mine, it is impossible to live an ordinary, humdrum life? You're not a boy any longer, you're a man.
No, I'm not. I'm nothing. I have grown up all wrong.
It's not my fault.
Of course it's your fault, Mother. Whose else fault could it be?
Your friends, the people you mixed with.
It wouldn't matter who I've mixed with if only I had a background.
You've got as much money as you want. You've got your home.
Home? That's almost funny. There's no peace anywhere, nothing but the ceaseless din of trying to be amused.
David never complains.
I don't suppose you've looked at Father during the last 2 years, or you wouldn't say that.
He's perfectly happy because he's sensible. He lives his own life and doesn't try to interfere with mine.
It must be your vanity that makes you so dreadfully blind and foolish.
Understand once and for all, I will not be talked to like this.
You've had other lovers besides Tom Barry, haven't you?
Yes, I have! Now then!
Well, anyhow, that's the truth. At last.
Nicky? Don't be angry with me, please. Don't be angry with me.
I'm not angry a bit. I just realized that I am living in a world where things like that happen. And they've got to be faced and given the right value. If only I had the courage to realize everything before, it wouldn't be so bad now. It's a sudden shock that's thrown the whole thing so out of focus for me. But I mean to get it right. Please, help me.
I don't know what to do.
It's your life. And you've lived it as you've wanted to live it. That's fair.
Yes.
You've wanted love always. Passionate love because you were made like that. And it's not your fault. It's the fault of circumstances and civilization. Well, civilization makes rottenness so much easier. We're utterly rotten, both of us.
Don't.
But how can we help ourselves? We swirl about in a vortex of beastliness. But this is a chance, don't you see, to realize the truth. Our only chance.
Nicky, do stop.
Oh, don't keep telling me to stop when our only hope is to hammer it out.
You're overwrought. It isn't as bad as you think.
Isn't it?
No, of course it isn't. Tomorrow morning you will see things quite differently.
You haven't understood.
Yes, I have.
Oh, God, you haven't understood. You're building a Paris in your mind. I'm overwrought. Tomorrow I shall see things differently. That's true. That's the tragedy of it. And you won't see. Tomorrow morning I shall see things differently. All this will seem unreal, a nightmare. The machinery of our lives will go on again and gloss over the truth as it always does. And our chance will be gone forever.
Chance? What are you talking about? What chance?
I must make you see somehow.
You are driving me mad.
Have patience with me, please.
How can I have patience with you? You exaggerate everything.
No, I don't. I wish I did.
Listen, let me explain something to you.
Very well, go on.
You're setting yourself up in judgment on me, your own mother.
No, I'm not.
You are. Let me speak. You don't understand my temperament in the least. Nobody does.
You're deceiving yourself. Your temperament is no different from thousands of other women, only you being weak and selfish and giving away all...
No, let me speak, I tell you!
What's the use? You're still pretending. You are building up barriers between us instead of helping me to knock them down.
What are you accusing me of having done?
Can't you see it?
No, I can't. If you're preaching morality, you've no right to. It's my affair. I've never done any harm to anyone.
Look at me.
Why? What do you mean?
You have given me nothing all of my life.
Now you...
Nothing that counts.
You are pitying yourself.
Yes, with every reason.
You are neurotic and ridiculous. Just because Bunty broke off your engagement, you come and said wicked, cruel things to me.
You forget what I've seen tonight, Mother.
I don't care what you've seen.
I've seen you make a vulgar, disgusting scene in your own house, and on top of that, humiliate yourself before a boy half your age. The misery of losing Bunty faded away when that happened. Everything is comparative after all.
I didn't humiliate myself.
You ran after him up the stairs because your vanity wouldn't let you lose him. It isn't that you love him. No, that would be easier. You never love anybody. You only love them loving you. The whole so-called passion and temperament is false. Your whole existence has degenerated into this endless, empty craving for admiration and flattery, and then you dare say that you have done no harm to anybody? Father used to be a clever man, with a strong will and a capacity for enjoying himself. I can remember him like that, and now he's nothing. A complete non-entity because his spirit is crushed. How could it be otherwise? You have let him down consistently for years and years. And God knows I have nothing for him to look forward to. But I might have been something if it hadn't been for you.
Don't talk like that. Don't! It can't be such a crime being loved. It can't be such a crime being happy.
You're not happy. You're never happy. You are fighting. You're fighting every day to keep your youth and your looks because you can't bear the thought of living without them, as though they mattered in the end.
What does anything matter ever?
That's just what I'm trying to find out.
I am still young inside. I'm still beautiful. Why shouldn't I live my life as I choose?
You are not young or beautiful. I'm seeing for the first time how old you are. It's horrible. Your silly fair-haired face of flower.
Stop, Nicky! Stop it! Go away! Go away! I hate you! Go away!
Father, stop!
You're insane! You said wicked, wicked things to me! You talk to me as though I were a woman off the streets! I can't bear anymore! I can't bear anymore!
I have a slight confession to make.
Oh, confession!
Yes?
Go away!
Look.
What do you mean? What is it?
Don't you know?
Oh! Nicky, it isn't. You haven't.
Why do you look so shocked?
Oh my God! Oh!
That doesn't matter. That doesn't make it any better.
Nicky, promise me you'll never do it again, never in your life. It's frightful, it's horrible.
No, it's only just the beginning.
What can I say to you? What can I say to you?
Nothing. Under the circumstances.
What do you mean?
Can't possibly matter now.
Matter, but it's the finish of everything. You're young, you're just starting on your life. No, you must stop. You must swear never to do it again, never in your life, Nicky. Nicky, it's horrible. I'll help you. I'll help you.
You? How could you possibly help me?
Oh, Nicky. Nicky!
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Don't touch me.
No, Nicky, please.
I am trying to control myself and you won't let me.
Nicky.
You're an awfully rotten woman, really.
Nicky, please. Nicky, please.
Now then. Now then. You are not to have any more lovers. You are not going to be beautiful and successful ever again. You are going to be my mother for once. It's about time I have them help me before I go over the edge altogether. Promise me you'll be different. Please. Please, please. Promise me you'll be different.
Yes, I promise.
I love you, really. That's why this is so awful.
No, not awful. Don't say that. I love you too.
Oh no.
I've been shoving death.
It doesn't matter about that. What matters terribly about life.
I know.
Promise me you'll be different. Promise me.
Yes, Nicky, I'll try.
Oh,